Welcome to a short introduction on working in Switzerland. In this tutorial, we will tell you a few things about legal requirements and how to find a job, some practical questions on finding a job in Switzerland. When looking at legal aspects, we have to make a clear distinction between citizens of EU26 countries and EFTA citizens in comparison to so-called third country nationals. The European Union currently consists of 27 countries, as Great Britain has left the European Union by the end of 2020. However, out of the 27 members, only 26 have currently accepted the bilateral agreement on the free movement of persons. There are special rules for people from Croatia. They will be under this bilateral agreement in the future. Currently, there are special rules for Croatian nationals. If you're a citizen of EU26 or EFTA, which includes Norway, Iceland, and Liechtenstein, you have the right to move freely in European Union and Switzerland. You will easily receive a residence permit once you sign a work contract with a Swiss-based company. The contract needs to provide for at least 12 hours a week, and the request is made by the employer and not by you. You will then receive a residence permit L EUFT for 1 year if the work contract is for less than 1 year. If it is for a longer period of time, you will even be able to get a B residence permit up to 5 years. Those jobs that are given to EU26 and EFTA citizens are not subject to any quota. And as a citizen of EU26 and EFTA, you have the right to stay up to 3 months in Switzerland to seek a job without any further notice. As citizens of EU26 and EFTA countries, you can also start your own business in Switzerland and will receive a residence permit of up to 5 years if you're able to prove proper business activities, which includes the formal registration of your company and which means that you need to obtain an independent status from social insurances, etc. As a student, you have the right to work part-time during the semester period, up to 15 hours a week. If you want to work during the semester break, you have the right to work full-time during the official semester breaks. If you're a citizen of any other country, so-called third country national, which now also includes British citizens, the access to the job market is very much restricted. First of all, there needs to be a high scientific or economic interest why you should be hired for this job. The company then also has to prove that there were no satisfactory candidates with higher priority in terms of nationality. And higher priority here means no satisfactory candidates from Switzerland, EU26, or EFTA countries. You will obtain a residence permit L or B for 1 year maximum, however, renewable. And those jobs are subject to quota, which means that the number of jobs that can be given or the number of work permits is restricted. As third country nationals, you have the right to stay in Switzerland up to 6 months after the successful completion of your studies at a Swiss university. The so-called job seeker permit can be obtained once you prove that you have successfully completed your studies, that you have sufficient financial means to stay in Switzerland, and it will be obtained upon request only. It is not issued automatically or tacitly. You have to apply for this to receive it. And the 6 month period starts in the moment when the university informs you about the successful completion of the studies. It does not start when you apply for the job seeker permit. Now let's have a closer look at the job market in Switzerland. About 20% of jobs in Switzerland are held by non-Swiss nationals. And obviously there are areas and industries where the proportion is even higher. Especially in bigger cities like Zurich, Geneva, or Basel, the proportion is definitely higher than 20%. And as you can imagine, there are some industries where the same goes. However, employers often do not exactly know what the legal requirements are, which makes them hesitate to hire non-Swiss nationals. If you have a better idea of what is required and what your possibilities are, this will help you in the recruitment process. And obviously, the limitations for third country nationals, the so-called quota, makes things even more complicated as companies hesitate to apply for permits. Now, here's a few practical recommendations to make your job chances higher. First of all, know the legal requirements and get informed once they change. As companies do not exactly know in some cases what is required, you can help them as you know and as you can tell them. Try to build up a network during your studies, as many jobs in Switzerland are not publicly advertised for, but are given to people that someone knows. Even though English might be the official corporate language in many companies, the local languages, the national languages like German, French, and Italian still play a very important role. And if you can prove that you're able to follow a conversation in any of these languages, it will improve your chances to get a job. You might also want to consider to send letters of interest to companies. Even though they have currently no open position, they still might be interested in looking at your CV and motivation letter. Swiss work culture is not so different from other countries. However, in each and every culture, you have a few specific aspects. And the more you know that, and the better you know it, and the better you know how to get adapted to the Swiss work culture, the higher your chances are to receive an invitation for an interview. As in any country, in Switzerland we have certain standards in terms of application documents like CV and motivation letter. Learn about those standards to be conform with the current recruiting requirements. And finally, you might want to contact recruitment agencies to spread the word. They have contacts to companies, and if they know you, they can then forward your documents to interested companies. If you have any further questions, do not hesitate to contact us. On our website, nextcareer.ch, you will find a document with more and more detailed information on working in Switzerland. You can also follow us on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, or send us an email. Thank you very much for your attention. We wish you good luck for your application process.